Delirious is still our Def Comedy Jam. So is Raw. The Dice Man cometh. You know what? We miss Sam Kinison. And yeah, you might hate it, and I apologize, but we'll still laugh at the jokes making fun of everybody, including ourselves. This is Implicit Bias Radio. We're back on the air. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. We've got a great crew assembled by Beadbusters here in Lafayette, because that's crew with a K. We are in the Mr. Lester's TSPL, and we finally figured out where the leftists gained their footing in modern culture. That means that we're about to solve some of the problems of the world. And we're about to partake in a very special weekly whiskey, which we promised on our social media earlier this week. So let's get to it. Sometimes it's not the glaring things that stick out to us and matter the most in the world. Sometimes it's the things that disappear, like Vanilla Ice's music career, MC Hammer's music fortune, or, unfortunately, people's sense of humor. Proverbs 17:22 tells us, a cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Now, if that ain't the most kind of metal verse in the Bible, I don't know what is. King Solomon was a wise dude, great beard, understood something that a lot of times modern leftists have weaponized against all of us. Laughter keeps us humble. And humility, that's kind of the WD-40 of society. Without it, everything squeaks, everything grinds, and eventually, everything breaks. That is why there was a war declared on people's sense of humor, like it was the last episode of Seinfeld, and the network execs just didn't get it. Their mission? Surgically remove every last chuckle from the American psyche until we're all walking around like extras from The Walking Dead, except instead of groaning for brains, we're groaning for safe spaces. Some of you might remember the 80s, and for those that didn't get a chance to live that time, we're sorry. We're sorry that this great time was erased from your generational experience. Eddie Murphy got to say anything on stage. And the worst consequence that we actually might have experienced was your mom covering your ears while your dad tried not to snort bourbon through his nose. When Airplane cracked a joke about inflatable autopilots, nobody demanded a congressional hearing. Comedy was dangerous, and that's what made it alive. But now we've got comedy committees, sensitivity readers for punchlines, and a generation that thinks The Office might just be problematic because Michael Scott didn't ask for pronouns before misgendering a stapler. Ecclesiastes 3:4 tells us, let me go back on that. Ecclesiastes was the place where we got all of our books from in grade school. Ecclesiastes is the book in the Bible. Ecclesiastes 3:4 tells us there's a time to weep and a time to laugh. Notice it doesn't say there's a time to weep and a time to go file a grievance with HR. The weaponized offense is almost like it's the last chopper out of Nam. Jokes that would have killed in 1985 are now literal violence. Richard Pryor, canceled. George Carlin would have been too abrasive. Blazing Saddles, more like blazing HR violations. They've turned comedy into a minefield. Every laugh is a potential war crime. And why? Because humor disarms. It reminds us we're all ridiculous. It's the great equalizer. Rich, poor, black, white, we all look stupid when we slip on a banana peel. And that's just the truth. The ideal situation for those who want to control everything? It's a joyless, self-serious automaton who nods along to NPR think pieces about the problematic history of knock-knock jokes. They want you to trade your SNL DVDs for a stack of Ibram X. Kendi books so thick you could bench press it. But Proverbs 16:18 warns us. Pride goes before deconstruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. And let me tell you, nothing screams haughty spirit like a Twitter mob screaming, educate yourself at a dad joke. Satire should be the scalpel that cuts through hypocrisy. Now, it's treated like a butter knife in a gunfight. South Park predicted this. And the crazy part is they always predict it. But even they're running out of ways to try and parody a world where parody itself is considered hate speech. Jesus used humor. Ever read the bit about the log in your eye while you're fretting over someone else's speck? That is like pure stand-up gold. The hyperbole there works on so many levels. Meanwhile, he might have gotten accused of him trivializing ocular safety in today's culture. Psalm 126:2 says, our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues, songs of joy. Notice it doesn't say our mouths were filled with verbatim recitations of critical race theory. Humor keeps us human. It's the pressure valve on the steam engine of society. And when you can laugh at yourself, you're less likely to burn down a Starbucks because someone mispronounced latte. The people who control, they don't want humility. They want control. And you know who else hated jokes? Every dictator in history. Stalin didn't do roasts. Pol Pot didn't have a Comedy Central special. So here we are. A country where Friends is retroactively problematic, and Mrs. Doubtfire is a documentary on gender fraud. The leftists won't stop until the only approved laughter is nervous, performative, and prefaced with a trigger warning. But I leave you with this. Proverbs 15:13. A happy heart makes the face cheerful, but heartache crushes the spirit. We won't crush the spirit tonight. Well, now that I say that, we might, but only in a good way if you know what I'm putting down. A truly special weekly whiskey on this week's show, and we'll tell you exactly what it is after the break. When we laugh, we hope you'll laugh with us. We hope, America, that you don't worry about who might get offended. Don't worry about the freaks championing the social justice topic of the week. Laugh like it's 1989 and Andrew Dice Clay just said something like, hickory dickory dock. I can't complete that. If you know the rest, you know I can't say that on the radio. But go ahead, laugh anyway. Laugh like your freedom and your implicit bias depends on it. Because guess what? It just might. Cheers. Happy Mardi Gras and welcome back to a very special weekly whiskey segment of Implicit Bias Radio. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. Our normal co-host, the Rustic Renegade, Caleb Morse, is not here this week, and I'm a little tongue-tied for some reason tonight.
It's the whiskey.
It's because it's so special.
Yes.
It is such a special occasion here on Implicit Bias Radio.
And Caleb's not getting any.
Do we save him some?
Of course not.
Of course not. All right. That is the voice of Rene Girard. He is Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, one of only 15 on the planet, correct?
Right. Yeah.
All of which you told me happen to be in the United States,
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know of anybody outside of the United States.
So you're telling me it's a uniquely American thing?
Yeah.
Okay, kind of like Greenland. All right, let's go to the bar. Let's introduce everybody that we've got at the bar. Burley Short Pour Pellerin is here with us, a member of the OG crew of Implicit Bias Radio.
As evidenced by my
Yep. The vest, correct?
my vest. I love it.
Bayou
Thank you.
Crafting did this work. Bayou Crafting sent these to the OG crew. Really nice of them to send them. So we have these, and yeah, you can see the logo on mine. You've got the logo on yours. Great to have it.
Beautiful.
What a night to also roll out the weekly whiskey, which explains the other person sitting next to you at the bar. So first
Very
of all,
special.
Dwayne Seamal of Ambassador Wine and Spirits. Dwayne, I'm going to apologize that you have to sit next to Burley.
That's fine. I haven't met him before. It's all right.
Just if the hands start creeping over, just hit him real hard. It'll be fine.
That's fine.
It'll be good. All right. So we said it's a very special weekly whiskey.
Absolutely.
The bottle is sitting next to me, and for the bourbon files out there, as I like to call myself, the bourbon nerd that I am, you're geeking out just because you see the bottle. People know this bottle. And this is not just a really cool, almost round bottle. This is a really cool, almost round bottle with a gold horse on top.
Correct.
So tell me about this and what it is for those that might not know, Dwayne.
Okay. For everybody that's been waiting for this, it is our newest store pick, our barrel pick. It is Blanton's Gold. We were fortunate enough to be offered this barrel, and I absolutely said yes. There's no reason why I could have passed it up, and we got lucky. It's a good one.
Well, so first of all, let's start here.
Yep.
Blanton's, from a lot of people, they get some pushback. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah,
Because it became so hard to get, and then the price became so elevated. And
absolutely.
regular Blanton's, which is always a single barrel,
Yes.
went from being a $60 bottle, a $40, $50 bottle, to some people were paying $200 for it.
Oh, Blanton's was a bottom shelf bourbon back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Couldn't sell it.
So you want a funny story? Take a guess what my wife gave me for our wedding in 2001. A
Blanton's?
bottle of Blanton's. Take a guess how much she paid for it.
Probably about 40 or 50 bucks.
$28. $28.
And it probably had dust on it.
It might have.
Yeah.
It really might have. And she actually asked
So-
the liquor person who was selling it, what for your money would be the best? My husband likes bourbon.
So let me ask, what kicked Blanton's off? What was it that all of a sudden everybody discovered? I think it's Justified.
Okay.
I had never seen Blanton's before till I saw Justified, and Art was always drinking.
So
Blanton's.
that's actually not
That's not
my
it?
understanding of the most popular. So first of all, you've got the whole bourbon craze. The whole bourbon craze made anything from Buffalo Trace Distillery a big deal.
Ah.
And then you had this movie that came out. And I was actually told this by the tour guides at the Sazerac House, which if you are looking for an opportunity to go to a whiskey cocktail drinkers version of Mecca or the Vatican, go to the Sazerac House.
Sazerac House is amazing.
It is incredible. And this movie came out and it was so popular that people literally will go to the Sazerac House. They will pass up looking at bottles that are way more unobtainium than a regular bottle of Blanton's and walk up to it and say, see that? That's what John Wick drinks.
Really?
And that is the big thing that I am told really put Blanton's on the map. Dwayne,
Yeah, but
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing with what was recent Weller 12. Everybody was asking for Weller 12 because of Yellowstone.
yeah, but I mean, Blanton's hit big before John Wick came out.
so the original John Wick came out, Walker, who decided to
About-
drink now.
It's been about 8-9 years.
Maybe even longer than that.
No, I don't
because
think so.
we
'cause
are
saw it.
we're 2 years past 4. So you're talking 10 years. So you're talking 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Blanton's had started to take off at that point. The whiskey craze, the bourbon craze had done a lot, but then we got to this. But here's the beautiful part of this, which is, and this is what I know our bourbon nerds like me are going to want to hear. This isn't just Blanton's.
No.
This to me is more than of what Blanton's was kind of supposed to be. So tell us about what's the difference between a Blanton's Gold, Dwayne, and a regular Blanton's, and why this pick that Ambassador Wine and Spirits has is so special, being a distiller's pick as well.
Okay, so honestly, the main difference between regular Blanton's and Blanton's Gold. Blanton's regular is at about 93 proof. Blanton's Gold is at 103 proof. And then you have Blanton's Straight from Barrel, which is higher proof, but we're going to talk about that in depth because we're focusing on this one.
Absolutely. So for those who don't necessarily know, people a lot of times think, well, higher proof, more alcohol. Sometimes they think less flavor.
Correct.
And the reality is it's exactly the opposite. Because what they use to proof any bourbon, any whiskey is water.
Right.
Literally, they water it down to bring the proof down.
Right.
So I want to start with Burley because Burley's on his second pour already. Burley, what do you think? What does short pour think about this? Because we know you didn't get short poured, number one. Number two, you
I'm
made
pretty
sure to hoard your
everyone's
second
on
pour.
their second
No,
pour. By
I
the
am
way.
not.
No.
Well, that's because you poured large.
All right. So we know it's going to be good because
Yes.
it's one of those that you have an expectation. So first of all, does this meet the expectation?
It actually surpassed my expectation because the last time I had a gold was at one of our birthdays 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
And by then I had had several others whiskeys, so it wasn't,
1 or 10?
But when you're walking into something
they were
like
little
this, and you're approaching it with the idea of, okay,
Mhm.
let me start here. So I wrote down a couple of things, right?
You learned to write? I'm impressed.
I did.
Cool.
Renee taught me.
Good.
In the break. He showed me with crayons. I wrote down silky.
Agreed.
Eyes closed, good.
Yeah. As I am
As
sitting
you're
here and I
sitting there
just
with your
close
eyes
my
closed.
eyes, nose humping my glass.
And right off the bat, what I'd be looking for as a proof hound, right? I'd be looking for that burn. I want the shock factor. I want to try to figure it out. With this one, I didn't do any of that. I wrote down it's as smooth, not as Tennessee whiskey, obviously, but as Kentucky whiskey, end quotes. It's as smooth as it can be, right? Pleasant on its own, like nothing we've done before. We always sample our whiskeys neat
Correct.
to start off with. I don't know if there's been a smoother intro that I've had when doing the show. On its own. It's just that pleasant. No overpowering notes. You were saying, I'm trying to get this. I don't have any overpowering notes. I don't want overpowering notes with this. It's a perfect example of an orchestra working in complete unison.
Wow. I would agree with you 100%. Yeah, that's
I
a
don't
great
want to pick
metaphor.
up. I don't want to pick up anything. I was hoping you wouldn't say anything because then it would have pissed me off because then it'd have been stuck in my mind and then it'd have gotten on my palate. So I'm glad you didn't say anything. I don't want any weird flavors. Y'all don't come up with cardamom and tulip juice and everything else. Keep that crap to yourself because you're gonna ruin it for anybody else who just wants to sit and enjoy a whiskey. And that's what this is. And 103, I probably typically wouldn't even gravitate towards it because I'm always looking for that intensity. With this one, I don't want the intensity. I'm as happy as a clam right now. I can tell you, it's that good.
I cannot disagree with anything you said. Can't disagree with anything you put out there. Renee, you're our curmudgeon on the show when it comes to whiskey. You are the one who's always like, man, but I don't like. I'm curious as to how this has drank for you.
It's perfect. I mean, it's the proofing is just right for me because I like 95 to 110s. This is perfect. And like Burley said, there's no overpowering flavors, aromas, anything. I mean, it's whiskey. It is a very, very good bourbon. And I wouldn't even attempt to put water in this. There is no reason to do any of that because I wouldn't put ice. It is so smooth.
Oh God, no.
No,
You
please,
drink it-
Don't even mix anything with
No.
it. I mean,
No.
look, we talk
Okay.
about how good old fashions are. I know
Nope,
some of you
this
like
ain't
old
it.
fashions.
You're
Don't
wasting
do that with this.
wasting this stuff if you try to make an old fashioned.
So let me go here.
It's perfect the way it is.
We have talked about our proofing water. We've used it.
Oh yeah, and it
Renee,
has worked in a
you-
lot of
You took the words out of my mouth, though. This needs nothing.
No,
This, and when it first came out of the bottle, I had the first pour, so it needed to get a little bit of oxygen underneath it. But literally in the 12 to 13 minutes that we did the monologue where I hadn't had a sip, and then I had another sip probably 3 to 5 minutes after that, just to kind of let it sit and get some air.
while you were doing your monologue, I was sipping, and it was perfect.
And let me
It
tell
didn't
you,
have to sit.
it went from, oh my goodness, to I think exactly where we're landing here, which is perfection. And
Oh yeah,
and what I'm going to say is this. Y'all know me. I like 130. I like
yeah.
140 on the proof. I love that. That's my jam. This restores my faith in lower proof stuff. And when I say lower, I mean under 115. This is
Yeah.
that
it is
good.
very,
It's
very
so good that, of course, wouldn't you know, out of nowhere, the implicit bias pledge decides that all of a sudden he wants to drink again. So Walker,
Yeah, I know. I quit drinking for a little while, and now this wants me to drink even more.
okay, so I've got to give you my review of this and where this takes me, because a really good bourbon or whiskey should move more than the palate. To me, it should almost be emotional. And this is emotional for me, and here's why. When I sniff this, when I nose hump the glass and then take a sip, let it sit on the palate for a second, go ahead, swallow, exhale, This is New Orleans in a glass for me. And hear me out when I say that. To me, the best nickname that the city of New Orleans ever got is the city that care forgot. Because in that city, time moves differently. When you're in New Orleans, if you just have time to explore the city, see things, it's a slower pace. Life pauses for a second. When I sip this, I get those flavors from the restaurants of New Orleans, those beautiful, deep caramels that you expect to get, those hints of praline, that little bit of honey that you get, that little bit of butterscotch. It's all blended into just one beautiful amalgam that sits on the palate and makes you go, man, if I didn't stop myself, I would sit here and drink this entire bottle by myself tonight and just savor it. And if it meant not going to sleep, because it's not one that you drink to feel the effects of the alcohol, it's because the flavor is so good. It is so beyond anything else that I've really had.
Yeah.
I think I've had one other one that I said was as close to perfection as you could get. This surpasses that. And
See, the thing is, we're going to save you. You don't have to drink that bottle by yourself because we're going
Shocker.
to help you.
Yeah, Renee's going to volunteer to help save me from myself.
Burley's going to help, and
Yeah.
Walker's going to help. We're going to help you.
I appreciate the friendship, but this is my new pet, and I'm going to love it and pet it and drink it. And no,
See, the name I thought of when you started talking about New Orleans is the Big Easy, because
That works too.
This stuff goes down so easy, so smooth. Man, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed with this.
This
bottle.
just totally fits with anything you would expect from Sazerac, especially the higher stuff, which is what this is, especially the fact that it's unobtainium. And I cannot tell you how happy we were and thankful we are to Ambassador Wine and Spirits, that those who are listening to the podcast,
part of the collective.
but those who are listening to this on podcast on Friday, you're about to get some really special news. So Dwayne, do you want to outline what time this will be available? And if you're listening on radio and you're just now hearing this, I'm sorry. We put it out on social media. We told you to go sign up because I hope you're still going to have availability and possibility. When is this going to hit the shelves?
This is going to drop on Friday at noon.
Friday, what's the date?
That is
my bad.
January 23rd.
Okay.
January 23rd.
January
At noon.
23rd, high noon. So a showdown high noon at Ambassador Wine and Spirits, which means that those who are listening to the podcast, I guarantee you they will be in line probably at 10 o'clock, Dwayne, is my guess.
8 o'clock.
They'll be standing in line for a couple hours.
Yeah, but they'll stand in line.
We do open at 10 o'clock, but this will not be available for sale until noon.
You might have some tents in your parking lot. And,
Oh, yeah, you might have some people spending the night. That would not surprise me. And look, again.
I know one right there. He's standing over there. He'll probably do
Oh,
it.
yeah. We do have it. So this is how anticipated this was for those who are listening. So our audience had somehow gotten wind that there was a special bottle dropping and there was going to be a reveal here. And what do you know? I get a call this week. Hey, man, you said that if I wanted to come to the podcast, I could come and sit. Is that still available for this week? And I'm like, coming out of the woodwork because he wants to know what it is.
Well,
He wants to know when it's going to drop. And I would expect nothing less.
After the Facebook post you put up, about the super special secret thing that.
And I hate to do it that way, but look, and this is one of those things where we're thrilled and thankful that Ambassador Wine and Spirits as a partner did this with us, which is, you don't always know when this is going to show up.
No.
You don't always know when it's going to get there. So we kind of put it out there and went, it's going to be there Friday. But now we know.
Yes.
Burley.
Look, you got to create the interest any way you can, right?
Oh, this is going to create its own interest.
You're not
I'm
a
telling you.
female with breasts and a curvy shape, so you can't tease us. You can't tease us when your OF page is going to be available or come live or when you're going to be live or whatever. So you got to do something.
Yes,
so
tease us with whiskey.
Hopefully the listeners will now realize the benefit of liking, following, subscribing.
Correct. Okay.
Right?
So Walker just gave me the finger, and I'm giving him the finger back for those who can see on not on terrestrial radio. And here's why. Because we got to do What Would You Pay? And we got to do the championship belt chain, right? And we got to do the Morse Whiskey rating code.
Yeah.
So for those who are listening on terrestrial radio, the Morse Whiskey rating code is as follows. And this is a slam dunk. I just know what this is going to be. Red, I wouldn't drink it even if it was free. Yellow, I would only drink it if it was free. Green, I would buy this. or blue, it's the Ambassador Wine and Spirits Distiller's pick of Blanton's Gold. Blue?
Blue.
Blue.
I'm
Blue.
betting there won't be enough left to go into deep blue.
Oh, there might not be enough left to go into deep blue. As I expected, unanimous blue. Now, the
Yeah.
question is, what would you pay? And when I say that, I mean, we've all had expensive bottles of whiskey on
Right.
this show.
Right.
So where does this line up with that? What would you pay? Right? Renee, I know what your all-time favorite is. You know what it runs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm guessing I would pay 125.
you'd pay 125
Yeah.
because you're a cheapskate.
I'm cheap.
Burley, what would you pay?
I'd pay more than that. But
That's
that's
my
not
point.
how the game
But
goes.
but that's my point. What would you pay?
well, one of my favorites is 200.
There you go.
I mean,
So here's what I'm gonna tell you.
I'd 100% pay it.
There is a black bottle with a purple top. And I love that bottle. Whiskey drinkers know what that bottle is. That bottle retails MSRP at $268. I cannot put this a penny less than that. And that's legitimate because the liquid that's in it
Yeah.
is absolutely
What-
worth
What's the
all of that.
What's the black bottle with the purple?
I'm trying to be kind, Renee.
Oh, okay.
It's Willet 8-year
Oh,
weeded
okay.
family estate bourbon.
Oh,
That's what it
okay.
is.
Okay.
And it's fantastic, but it's $270
Right.
bucks. That's
Yeah.
the MSRP on it. Walker would pay all 39 cents in the savings account after FanDuel was done with him through the holidays.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would. So here's my question, Dwayne. What's MSRP on this for you guys? What are we going to be looking at on this if you're lucky enough to get there in time and get a bottle of this?
Okay, so MSRP on this one and what we're selling it for, just like all of our allocated bourbons, which are at MSRP. Just a reminder about that.
One of the
for
reasons
everybody
why
listening.
y'all are members of the Ambassador Wine and Spirits, the Implicit Bias Liquor Collective. Yes,
Correct.
that's why.
So MSRP on this one is $139.99.
139. That is, I want to go full Eddie Murphy and go, what a bargain!
Yeah.
Because that's an obscenely ridiculous price for this bottle.
Yep.
All day, every day, twice on Sundays. If it were up to me and I had the opportunity, I would buy until the savings account was done at that price. It's just that simple. A unanimous blue, $139.99, which means Renee gets to wear the What Would You Pay championship belt chain. See, he was trying to get out of it by
Right.
being a cheapskate because we know Renee.
No, I figured.
No,
I know.
I just am a cheapskate. All
No,
right.
I am a cheapskate, but I know these guys at Ambassador, they're not going to take advantage of you.
Correct.
They're going to price it
Absolutely
to
not.
what it's worth. And it's worth more than that, but these guys are going to price it right.
And Renee gives us our Dumb and Dumber moment. Just when I think that you couldn't get any worse, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. Renee Girard wins the What Would You Pay championship belt chain presented by Box Drop. This Blanton's Gold Distiller's Pick from Ambassador Wine and Spirits. For those listening on podcast, Friday, January 23rd at noon. You might want to get there early. If you're listening on terrestrial radio, we apologize if it's no longer available because y'all know how quickly this will go. That's why you don't want to miss and subscribe to Implicit Bias Radio. We'll be back. Cheers. Such a special weekly whiskey on this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio that it didn't get just one. It's getting two segments. A Blanton's Gold at 103 proof, a pick for Ambassador Wine and Spirits, which, yes, if you listened on the podcast side and you got this podcast on Friday, you know that this went on sale at MSRP at noon on January 23rd. We have Dwayne Seymour with us. Dwayne, you are what? The Emperor of Ambassador Wine and Spirits? Is that your official title?
I wish
AWSE, Ambassador Wine and Spirits Emperor?
I wish that I had that title because the paycheck would come along with it.
Well, okay. So the Overlord, is it maybe that one? Or the Warlord of Ambassador Wine and Spirits?
Unfortunately, I'll have to just settle with manager.
Okay,
store
that
manager.
works. That works. So if you would just one more time, this particular barrel, incredibly special, 103 proof. It's not often that you see a Blanton's Gold pick.
I've only
come up.
ever seen a Blanton's Gold pick once in the past, I would say 3 years in Louisiana. And all of that went up north, if I remember correctly. Like Monroe, Shreveport area. I haven't seen one down here. I could be wrong.
I have not seen one in 5 years or more. I don't know that I've ever seen one. I really only would have been looking one for about a 5-year span. maybe a 6-year span, but to that point, just so special. And you made the comment, and I've got to reiterate on this one because it's true. The neck pour was very good.
Very good.
And it was a definite difference between the first pour out of the bottle and then my second pour out of the bottle.
And the third
But
pour,
it just kept
and
getting
the fourth pour,
better.
and the
Yeah.
fifth pour.
Keep counting, Renee. Because here's the deal. With this bottle, I'm just going to keep going until there's no more pours left.
Yeah.
Well,
Next-
it's about there now, buddy.
Well, that's because we got a lot of people sampling here in the
Yeah.
Mr. Lester's TSPL. So, Dwayne, a lot of people always wonder, how do we find out about this? We are big on having a relationship on the people you do business with, right? Or
Correct.
a relationship
Absolutely.
with the people with whom you do business.
Absolutely. We love our customers.
And it's obvious that you do. I was fortunate to have the opportunity, months ago, to come to an Ambassador Wine After Dark, an event that you guys put on that was really cool. I mean, Maker's Mark, you had a full offering of tastings, you had food, just something really cool. And you have another one of those coming up. And this one's actually not just geared towards the whiskey drinkers. It's actually geared towards whiskey and wine.
Absolutely. So a couple of years back, I started these programs, these premium tasting events, I call them. We call them Ambassador After Dark, kind of like a speakeasy kind of feel to them, where we get suppliers to come in. We started off with focusing on bourbon. The whole purpose of it was, how can I fairly make allocated bourbons available to the public? And that's when it was post-COVID, allocations were very short. Now that we've gotten it under our belt a little bit, they've been a little bit more abundant, the way we can offer a little bit more at each event. But basically what Ambassador After Dark is they are tasting events that we put on. We close the store to the public. People come in, you have to buy a ticket to get in. Food is provided. The supplier comes with a whole lineup of tastings, whether it be whiskey, tequilas, wines. And it's not just a tasting, but it's a tasting with information. The supplier actually gives you background information about what you're tasting, how they make it, information about the vineyard if it's wine, information about the distillery if it's whiskey or tequila. And we just have a good time. It's just a 2-hour block on a Thursday or a Wednesday, and it's just a night out with food, friends, and drinks.
So that is a fantastic thing that you said, where you just have fun and you get to learn something.
Absolutely.
And we give full disclosure.
Yes.
The one you have coming up in February, the guy who's doing it has been on this show and has been on this show quite a lot. It's Big Whiskey. We call him the Liquor Fairy in my house, but Kenny Michael is going to be there. So you're going to have Bibb and Tucker. You're going to have Josh Wines. You're going to have some of those extensions there. It's going to be fantastic. I go back to, when you say you get to learn something and have fun, I go back to the night that I was there for Sazerac. Greg Treesh from Sazerac, from the Sazerac house, is fantastic. You got a cocktail. He explained the history of the Sazerac. You get to really get some of the expertise passed on.
Absolutely. Greg's fantastic. He's one in a million. I've listened to his presentation 4 or 5 times now, and I learn something new every single time that he tells it. He actually works at the Sazerac house, I think only 2 days out of the week.
Yeah.
But if you're ever out there and get a chance to get him as a tour guide, he is fantastic. But our events provide background information about the product that you might be interested in. These events might be available for you guys to actually be introduced to new products. You might be thinking, hey, that bottle looks good. I've kind of heard some stuff about it. They're holding a whole event about it that's focused on it. Come buy a ticket. It's very affordable. It's only $30 a ticket. You get food by our sister company, Bourbon Street Deli. It's great lineup. It's fantastic. Every event has been so much fun.
How often do you do these events?
Typically, on average, it's been about once a month. We focus on bourbon every other month, and then the months in between, we focus on other categories like tequila or wine. I haven't had a beer night yet, but I'm kind of working on the logistics on that one yet.
So we're going to have some fun with this. What I'm going to tell people is, you might have missed, if you're listening on the radio side, you might have missed this Blanton's Gold offering at Ambassador Wine and Spirits. What you won't miss, implicit bias, is going to commit to buying 2 tickets.
Okay.
And we're going to give 2 tickets to 2 people through social media so they can come to the event, enjoy. You can get to meet some of the members of the crew because I will be there. Caleb will be there because I bought his tickets as well. So we're going to have all those going on, and you're going to have an opportunity to come out.
I'll be there, even though
Burley
he
will
didn't
be
buy
there.
mine.
Yeah, because, short for.
He's going to make
Anyway,
me buy mine too. So
a fun night. Come out. We'll get some tickets. We'll have a grand old time. February
5th
5th.
in Lafayette.
Okay.
We also have a sister store. If you guys didn't know, Ambassador Wine and Spirits is owned by the Tobacco Plus and ShopRite Company.
Yep.
So we have a sister store in Lake Charles. Our Tobacco Plus number 20, right there off of Nielsen Road, right by the Walmart. They're doing one on the 4th. So if anybody's listening in the Lake Charles area, go buy tickets for that one. I'll be there. You get to meet me. I don't know if that's a win or a loss, but I'll be there to introduce, and Kenny will be there, and we'll taste through some Josh wines. Plus, we are tasting through their bourbon lineup, which is Redemption and Bibb and Tucker.
Sounds like a fantastic time. Ambassador Wine and Spirits, and then, of course, in Lake Charles as well. Cheers to all of you. We will come back. We'll start solving some of the problems of the world, and we'll do it with a laugh right here on Implicit Bias Radio. We get to make fun of Caleb Morse for this entire last segment on Implicit Bias Radio because we're going to rub it in just a bit. Why? Because we were fortunate enough. We were blessed to have a bottle.
had a bottle.
Yeah, had a bottle of the Ambassador Wine and Spirits Blanton's Gold Distiller's Pick here on Implicit Bias Radio. And it just so happened that it happened on a week that Caleb Morse was at SHOT Show.
Wasn't here, yes.
Not here this week.
I got the comfy chair and his portion of the whiskey.
Oh, sounds like you got like his portion and your portion of the whiskey.
Well, yeah, I had 2 glasses.
All right, we have another member of the TSPL, another member of the crew here in the TSPL. Chris Castro is now at the bar. So, Chris, now that you've replaced Dwayne,
Yep.
you were kind of, we don't have a green room here at the TSPL, but it's our version of a green room. It's basically a living room, just so you know. You were being so incredibly polite because we got through the entire weekly whiskey segment and I'm watching this bottle pass around the room and I'm like, Chris, did you get a taste? No. I'm like, whoa.
You better get it now.
It wasn't a hesitant no, let me tell you that.
Okay, Chris. So not necessarily a review, but what do you think?
I enjoyed it. It was, I have to tell you, it was a little hot on my first sip. And that always seems to be the case for me with bourbon. But I got to tell you, when it got to the end, it was very nice and smooth. I enjoyed it.
I'm the proof princess, and it didn't bother me at all.
Well, I don't think you like low proof as much as you say, Renee. You think
y'all have corrupted me. I started out with not being a whiskey drinker, and y'all have corrupted me.
Of course we have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was just, like I said, it always seems to be the case for me on the first sip. It's always just a little hot. But I got to tell you, man, it really smoothed out and just perfect glide. So I enjoyed it. I really feel blessed to be able to have been a part of it.
This is a big one. This is a special event. This is one of those that it is the unobtainium of unobtainiums.
Contemplating it, buying it as an investment, or holding it. Seriously.
Here's what I will say. The way the market has gone, the collectability of bottles is not today what it was 3 years ago. And that's just the facts. What I will say is this. The price of bourbon has escalated ridiculously in the last 5 years. It has just gone nuts. There are few bottles that when I look at a price point and I go, man, 5 years ago, I never would have paid this. This is one of those bottles that if you think there is nothing worth $139.99, go buy this one and it will change your mind. It will change your mind in a couple of sips.
The thing with this particular whiskey, this is not going to appreciate on your shelf.
No.
I don't care what kind of collectability you're looking for or anything. This is not the benefit that you're going to get, the joy.
Yes.
Ring the bell because I know what he's going to say before he says it, and he's right.
Is sharing this with someone else, or if you're a tight ass like Kavan, you're going to sit, you're going to drink it by yourself, and you're gonna enjoy the whole damn thing. This is something that I would want to put glasses on the table and share with my friends and say, take a sip of this and see their reaction, watch them drink it, watch them savor it, and watch them ask for more.
Yes.
that would bring me every bit of the value of whatever it was that I paid.
I mean, these guys, they don't make these whiskeys to sit on a shelf.
No.
They make this stuff to drink. If you're just going to buy a bottle of whiskey to sit on the shelf, you can buy a cheap rot gut bottle to do that with. If you're going to get a bottle like this, you need to drink it.
So I have a buddy who has a saying, and his saying is drink yo good,
Oh, yeah.
and he's not wrong.
No.
This is what this is meant for. This is
Yes.
meant to sit down with a bunch of people. And here's the fun part. I'll never forget tonight.
No.
I'll never forget, what's his name sitting in the corner?
Oh, good old, what's his name? I'll never forget him.
This is one of those ones where you should absolutely buy two.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Buy
Yeah,
two.
but
If you
unfortunate-
can.
the
I think
unfortunate
this is a
thing, they're
limit.
gonna have to
if you
limit it.
can, because you're gonna want to savor it, you're gonna remember it, and then you're gonna want to say, wait a minute,
Who do I share
I've
this
got other people coming next
Yes.
time. I'm gonna open the second bottle.
Yep.
Right.
with? Yep. It is that good.
Don't keep it to show them.
Well,
Don't
you know
keep
what you,
it
you
to
know what
show
you
'em.
can't do? You can't get greedy with it.
No,
That's
You-
the big thing.
you've got to share it.
Which
You've got to
brings
open
us,
it.
Which brings us to the problem of the world that I want to solve, because we're at the end of hour 1 and we have kind of gone unprecedented here. I don't know that we've done 2.5 segments on our weekly whiskey. This was absolutely
I think we did
worth
an
it.
hour on the weekly whiskey.
It was absolutely worth it.
Yes.
And we've had some good laughs. We have not let our sense of humor get homicided, right? Nobody intended to capital murder our sense of humor, and they tried, but we didn't let them. So anyway, this story, talking about greed, is one that jumped out at me from the stories that I sent out this week. Do y'all remember? Because it took me a second to remember who Phil Ivey was.
used to watch him all the time.
Oh, okay.
That was
what did
that
you
was
watch
one of
him?
the first reality shows, the poker championship.
Correct.
Whatever.
So
It
Phil,
was the most boring crap you could watch on TV, unless you really started paying attention to what these boys were doing. Not these boys, these people, because there were women too. But it was crazy.
Phil Ivey was one of the first people to win the World Series
Absolutely,
of Poker
World Series
on
that's-
TV.
I think
Yes.
that was the name of the show.
That's
World
what it
Series
was.
of
Yeah,
Poker.
WSOP,
Yeah.
World Series of Poker.
Right.
And he would play poker tournaments, and they would sit there, and they were running probabilities in their head, and they're trying to play the person across from them as opposed to playing just the cards. Well, Phil Ivey apparently made all this money and then lost a lot of it because it just wasn't incredibly profitable. The win rate wasn't enough to sustain the lifestyle you needed to go to casino and live in a casino for a week for this poker tournament. And I mean, the entry fees were obscene. They were $25,000 to enter. Some were, tens of thousands of dollars. Well, Phil Ivey gets together with a baccarat player who had been jailed over fraud or something like this. And this woman, while she's in jail, literally just sat there. And this is the amount of detail that it takes.
With guess what? A deck of cards.
a deck of cards.
Not much else you can have in yourself.
And you know what she figured out? She figured out the pattern on the back of the cards, a lot of times would tell you what kind of card was on the other side. So she gets together with Phil Ivey. And the big thing that had to happen here is that you had to get the casino to agree to certain rules in order for this to work out. So Ivy gets the casino to agree to a certain number of decks in the chute. He gets this casino to agree that it's a private table. He's the only one playing, nobody else. And then Phil Ivey proceeds to take millions from the casinos until he got greedy. He got greedy and started pushing hands and was betting $250,000 a hand. And they changed out the deck on him when a pit boss had an idea of what was going on. Just got an idea. There's something about the deck that he's onto.
And he tried to cash out,
And they wouldn't pay it.
and they wouldn't pay it.
And then
'cause
all
they're
the
like,
other casinos
hold
got him
on.
for fraud,
Hold on a minute.
which I find real interesting because I'm still trying to figure out how I placed a bet in your casino. You agreed to the rules and you lost. But guess what? We agreed to the rules too, and Walker gave me the 1 minute finger. So that means we got to have more fun in hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio, which is going to be real difficult because we destroyed this entire bottle in hour 1. And hour 2 is usually more fun because we have more weekly whiskey and nothing's going to live up to this. But we'll try. So subscribe on all of our socials, X, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Follow Implicit Bias Radio. If you don't get hour 2, call your radio station. Tell them I want more of my Implicit Bias. We'll be back. Hour 2 of Implicit Bias Radio. And man, It has just been an incredibly special episode for our whiskey drinking listeners out there. If you listen to bourbon, we haven't solved a lot of problems of the world, but let me tell you, we had a damn good time in hour one, right, Renee?
We talked a lot about this bourbon.
We have talked a lot about this Blanton's Gold Ambassador.
I mean, I don't
Wine and
know.
Spirits.
Hour
Well,
one
we
might have
evidently had a good time because you said if you listen to bourbon,
Oh, wait, I did?
Yes.
Oh, dear Lord. No.
I mean, obviously, hour one.
you
was
said if you
more
listen to
fun.
bourbon. Well, I don't know about you, Kevon, but I drink bourbon.
Yeah, hour one was more fun
I don't know. Listening
because
to
we're
bourbon.
out of the bourbon now.
Listening to bourbon might be even more fun than just drinking it, right? Okay. Yeah, I hate when those things happen. All right. So first of all, let's go here. Renee, you were asked a question about what cigar would you pair with this? I mean, this is one of those where having a cigar with this bourbon, I hate to say that it might actually make it better. I don't know that it would,
Yeah,
but
there's
'cause it's just
there's
so good.
Well, CAO Amazon Basins come out once a year, and just so happened they got released this past week, and it's an allocated product. It comes out. That's it. I got 5 boxes. One's gone already at the recording. I got 4 left. It's going to go as fast as this bourbon, and I think because it's a very rare tobacco, it's a Bragancia tobacco is the wrapper leaf on it. They only grow it every 4 years, and they keep enough to make a cigar, do a release every year. I think it would go very well. It's got a slight fruitiness to it, and it's not a flavoring. It's just the blend. I think it would go very well with this.
I like that you called out it's not a flavoring because when you say it has a slight fruitiness to
Right.
it, some people
It's
might
not
think
something
it's Walker,
added.
but
It's just the natural aging, the natural aging of the tobacco.
yeah, and I like that you pick up those notes and put that
Yep.
out there, and that lightness to it might
Yep.
just accentuate and complement really well.
Yeah.
Because this is a very rich
Oh,
bourbon.
yes.
It is.
Yeah.
It is bourbony McBourbon on steroids.
Yes. That's probably one of the best bourbons I've had in a long time.
And that says a lot because
Yeah.
we keep you neck deep in good bourbon.
Yes, I do get a lot of good bourbons.
So that is Rene Girard. He is in the chair because Caleb Morris, the Rustic Renegade,
He's out playing in Vegas.
didn't get any of this. For those who can see on social media.
Caleb didn't get in it. You
You
want
ain't
some?
got
You want
none.
some blend? Nah, 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 nah.
Because you can't afford it. And your daddy's an alcoholic,
Yeah.
right? Those will remember that from Delirious, you know, right?
Eddie Murphy.
Yes, Eddie Murphy. All right, that is Burley Short Pour Pellerin at the bar. He is joined now by Chris Castro, the consigliere here on the show. So, Chris, good week for you to get a phone call.
Yeah, it's been a fine week. Yeah.
You got to eat the microphone so we can hear you.
Yes.
Great whiskey, great bourbon. So, Chris, I have a legal question for you as we get into solving the problems of the world.
I have to work now.
So, if I get a subpoena
Okay.
from a congressional body,
All right.
what's supposed to happen if I don't show up?
You would probably be found to be in contempt, and marshal or some entity, some legal police force or whatever would go respond, and
They would come find you
and and
get you?
You would be responsible to go to court, and
They would then take you into custody, correct?
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And you'd have to go to court and answer why you weren't responding to the subpoena.
Okay, so if I got a subpoena, do I have negotiation power there? Can I like call somebody and be like, hey, I know you sent me the subpoena, but I'm thinking I might show up, but only if you do X, Y, and Z for me?
I don't know if there's any conditions such as that. You can, you can have an individual counsel who would respond to the individual who issued the subpoena and say, I'm not responding to the subpoena for particular reasons.
Okay.
But you would have to at least give a response and, answer the subpoena one way or the other. But to just blatantly fail to respond and not show, that's not permissible.
So see, we were talking about the death of senses of humor, so I'm going to play a little church lady here. Y'all remember the church lady, Dana Carvey?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that special?
How convenient.
Yeah.
Right.
I think we've got like somebody who didn't show up for a subpoena in the last couple of weeks. How convenient that they didn't show up for a
Yeah,
subpoena.
but they are very special.
Yeah. Well, isn't that special? I wonder who they could be. Is it Satan? Right? I mean,
Yeah,
Chris,
maybe.
you want to go ahead and tell everybody what I'm talking about? Or
That would be who, the Clinton family?
that would be Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
They got subpoenaed to talk about the Epstein files. And who apparently does the law not apply to?
Them.
Well,
Them.
So consigliere.
Individuals of certain status, let's say.
So consigliere, if I got a subpoena and you were counseling me on whether I should go testify, what would you tell me to do?
Well, I would assess the substance of the subpoena, and I would determine whether or not it's something that you can testify to. And if there's any objection to it, then I would tell you that.
Say I
these
have
are the
immunity.
objections.
Say I have
And
I have presidential immunity.
I would suggest to you then, if that defense applies and that's an exception to the subpoena, then I would give you that. That's the reason I'm not showing.
There. Okay. So you would say, hey, look, this is.
But you
why
have to at least provide some response to the issuing entity that there's a reason why I'm not being present.
Okay. So I want to go around the horn here.
Okay.
Burley. Did you in the articles? Did you find any response to the
No.
subpoena prior to the allocated date that they were supposed to
No.
show up? Renee, did you know of
No.
anything?
No, and I saw I saw the reports on the news media, and they showed the empty chair in the congressional hearing. He just didn't show up.
Walker, do you know anything?
I don't know much.
That's exactly. So there we go. Of what I can find, apparently after the hearing, there was a legal salvo, a filing to the extent of we will testify if you do these things, if these things are granted. So apparently there was some sort of
After the fact, though.
tardy, I think would be the term, response. I mean,
I don't
let's
know.
face it, Renee, if you were employed
I
by
just think
someone
that
else-
was just a blatant I ain't showing up thing. I'll be honest
Oh.
with you. I think that's what that was.
I love it, Renee's thinking.
Yes.
Renee's
I do
thinking.
that
and
on
and
occasion.
I agree with you, though. Burley?
Exactly the same thing. I don't think they ever had an intention. I think they looked at it. I'm going to that.
It's below me. I don't need to show up.
Because historically, they've never had to.
No.
Wait a minute.
Her in particular,
Wait.
she has that attitude.
Burley,
that-
at this point, what
What
difference does it make? Yeah.
Yeah.
You were picking up what I was putting down there. Therein
I
lies
know.
the point. People who believe they are held above and outside of the law tend to act above and outside of the law.
which then begs the larger question about some of the goings on in our society today,
Such
about
as?
about the accountability, the repercussions, the whatnot. It's leaned towards one side. We've seen it time and time again. And when the people at the upper echelon continue to have and demonstrate this type of behavior, it emboldens then those below, and then the precedent is set.
So I'm gonna push back on you here for a second because I don't think this necessarily benefits one side of the aisle. I think this benefits the members of the club versus the non-members of the club.
Agreed.
Right?
I'd
Yeah.
I'd
Oh,
agree
yeah.
with that.
This is
Yeah,
now,
good bell ring.
Now, what I will say is this: I believe there's a congressman out of the Northeast who now might be doing time or something for lies he told, who was removed from the Senate and all this stuff, who was shamed into getting out because he told a bunch of lies. I can't remember the guy's name. It was just the
guy from New York.
yeah, the guy from New York. Chris
You
has
talking
it
about-
right.
Santos?
DeSantos, yes.
No, Santos.
Santos.
No.
Santos.
Oh, he got
Santos.
pardoned.
Well, he did get a pardon,
Yeah.
but
Donald Trump pardoned him.
Oh,
yeah. So okay,
Yeah.
so what you're telling me is that my theory of if you're a member of the club or you're not a member of the club
Right.
is what makes the difference.
Yeah.
Right?
It may not be partisan
Correct.
to a certain degree, but at the same time, there's those who don't see it from a party standpoint. They see it as a mindset.
This is why the sense of humor had to go. Because people like George Carlin made fun of the mindset
Yeah.
and they couldn't take being made fun of. When George Carlin said it's one big club and we ain't in it,
Right.
he wasn't calling out one side or the other side. He was calling out
The club.
the
club.
uniparty.
Right.
He was calling out that group of elitists who think they are above
Yeah.
everything and everyone.
Yeah.
And therein lies the problem, right? I mean, go look at, and this is funny because we're going to get into this in depth more in another segment. I didn't get to send this topic out, but we have to talk Greenland. Look at what's going on in Davos right now. You had all these European elitists who have always traditionally snubbed their nose at the United States of America while they took our money, right? They always look down their nose at us filthy bourgeois Americans while they took all the money from us to defend them. And they said, oh, we can defend ourselves. 30 seconds later, they're like, uh-oh, put on the reverse lights on the tank. We want everybody to know we're retreating, right?
Right.
I mean, that's who these people are. They are elitists of the utmost grade. And the really funny part is I'm going to argue a lot of people in Washington, they don't want to be a part of the Washington club. They want to be a part of the global club.
Yeah.
The people in Washington, a lot of them think I'm better than all these Americans. I want to be a part of the European globalist Chinese club. And the reality is those elitists in Europe still look down their nose at these people and they don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
They just don't get it. And a sense of humor, which is something that we as Americans had. We were always willing to laugh at the crass, at the, toilet bowl humor that other people looked at and said, oh, you are so disgusting. That is so below me.
One of my
Guess
favorite-
what? You take a dump just like everybody else. And when you fart, it's still funny too.
One of my favorite jokes is, how many Parisians does it take to defend France?
I don't know. They've never done it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We have.
My favorite was, how can you tell a French tank? It has reverse lights.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
They've changed their threat level from run to hide.
This is why a sense of humor, though, is so important. Because it calls out all those things that could be offensive if it wasn't meant as a joke.
But the funny thing is that majority of it is true.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's to the point where it's humorous, but it's factual.
It's true.
Look, I've made this argument for decades. Stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason.
Yes.
Look at me. Have you ever seen me dance? That's all I'm saying. It's a stereotype for a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Stereotypes are there.
Wait, didn't you dance at Mardi Gras at 1 year at
Mardi Gras?
in New Orleans? You were talking about on the show one time. You were talking about how you were actually dancing
At Mardi Gras? No, they let me do Dancing with the Rebel Stars about 10 years ago for a local high school to raise money.
And they wanted their money back.
Yeah,
Correct.
They did.
Correct.
They didn't raise money. They actually ended up
It cost them
they had to
money.
fork over
Yeah,
some
they
money,
cost
and
them
it was
money.
it was a whole mess.
Understand.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're laughing with me or laughing at me. Long as you're laughing, we're good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
But that's the thing. We're not talking about satire anymore. This is not satirical.
Yeah.
So in a way it is, because we are making fun of the status quo, and that's the point. But here's the problem. This is the big reason, the real big reason why they had to do away with people's sense of humor. Because when it was satire, everybody could see that it was being made fun of. When Saturday Night Live did the song about the Clintons and Whitewater in the 90s, and literally they explained the
You mean
entire
when
Whitewater
SNL
scandal.
used to be funny?
Correct.
Correct.
It was funny because it was true.
Right.
That's
Yes.
what made it funny.
Yeah.
What made it funny is that there are two people walking around who engaged in bank fraud, in wire fraud potentially. My opinion, by the way, bank fraud, wire fraud,
Missing persons.
missing people,
Dead
suicide,
people.
suicide by 2 to the back of the head. I mean,
Right.
it's these things that you look at and they're like, yeah, we'll never figure it out. And that's what made it funny.
Yeah.
Right.
And guess what? I think that this is something we've stumbled upon here on this show. The real reason that these elitists can't handle a sense of humor is that they think they are so smart, wise, and to be taken seriously that when people laugh at them, it is the ultimate pain to their ego.
Oh, yeah.
It is the ultimate suffering for them to be like, I shouldn't be the butt of somebody's joke. You know what? If you think I'm funny, congratulations.
Because at one time, if we really think back to all of the SNL skits and whatnot, it was probably to give credence to that particular party. If you think about it.
Well,
The-
back
the-
then,
I mean, they've always
Saturday
been-
Night Live was equal opportunity offender.
Maybe
Today, they only offend one side of the aisle.
exactly.
Right. They
But-
lean more one way
But
than the other.
because of that, it was also creating top of mind awareness. People were talking about it. It was kind of chic and funny and whatnot. So they shrugged it off. Today, it's not that. It's now to the point where you almost can't make fun of it.
Well,
But that's the point. That's why they had to kill the sense of humor, right?
Look at the
Right.
cancel culture thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, that just went overboard.
So
Can you
follow me
imagine
here.
George Carlin still today?
Oh
so,
my
so-
God!
So, follow
Please.
me here. Follow
He'd
me
be
here.
broke.
Where would society be today if we were allowed ad nauseum? For those who don't know the Latin term ad nauseum, basically until I throw up, so much until I throw up,
AKA
Right.
ad infinitum.
ad infinitum, absolutely. Where would we be today with people who dress up like animals and think they're cats
Right.
and poop in litter boxes if we could just make
Right.
fun of them? No, now that's why the sense of humor had to die. Because humor is where we pointed out the absurdity of it. Now you go to point out the absurdity,
No.
and what do they say? You can't do that. It hurts my feelings.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
a joke.
Because it's actual, quote unquote.
and it's funny because it's true. Chris, I see you
Well,
want to chime in
I
over
would
here.
submit to you that as it goes back to the Saturday Night Live in the '90s,
In the 80s, when it was funny, in the 70s, yeah.
You might. It's at the entity, the party, whoever, the crew, the people who are the elitist at the time. And interestingly, you kind of brought this up at the outset of this, and did a little just kind of quick little run of research. And right now, the people who are the elitist, or at least the people who are in power, I would say, take strong offense.
They do. I
take
don't-
strong offense to the people who are now making the satires of them and calling them unfunny and using it as their
We're gonna go
you
long,
know,
Walker.
so
So follow me here.
Well,
Fo- and-
but I want you to follow this
Yeah,
that
I agree.
that
Humor
those
has to
who-
it has to be an equal
it's
opportunity
got to be
offender.
going both ways. And if you can't laugh at yourself, then don't come back and
Okay.
tell me that
So-
you are a problem or you're an
and
issue.
And I agree with you
And
100%.
I think that's the cut. So
Now, here's to me the difference, and here's where the line gets drawn. As Gen Xers and
Now,
Moses,
I would
we
just
all know.
suggest to you this,
Boomer.
though, as you talk about the change in society and whether people are people who
it's
think
not-
I'm
it's
a
not even
cat,
that.
things such as
No,
that.
it's
But-
not even that.
but-
Here's my point. My point is, if you go back and look, Donald Trump was on Saturday Night Live multiple times,
Yes.
mocking himself,
Yes.
But now he can't.
right? But understand, what is the difference between what they're attempting to mock and what they're trying to make funny, right? That's the big difference. When they're trying
Well-
to make funny that Donald Trump is a pedophile, there's no joke there because there's no truth to it. It's
that-
just not funny.
Right.
And they've gone there.
Well,
Yeah, they have.
a majority of those people have TDS so bad that they can't be funny.
Now, to that point, you still have to have the thick skin.
Right.
You still have to let it go. Because guess what? If he just ignores it, a lot of it goes away.
And Trump will actually make funny comments about himself and what he's doing at the time.
Renee,
I mean-
you ignorant slut.
Okay,
I would just
Hayne.
suggest to you that the things that he is
Okay,
doing can be
Hayne.
funny in and of itself.
Hey, so I don't disagree, and that's
Well,
the thing.
But
If
if,
they
it's in
would-
it, if he thinks it's funny in and of itself, then he's mocking those for whom that he is supposed to be, I would say, working for.
So
Because it's like, I'm throwing this shit out at you.
we'll
You know,
edit
I-
that. That's all right.
And you think I think it's funny, but it's really not. And I'm just kind of reverse messing with you.
So and I agree with you, right? If you lean into it, like it's no secret. Caleb likes to make short jokes.
Yep.
Make all the short jokes about me you want. I'm
Yep.
5'8" on a good day. I'll lean into it. Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Right.
It's
Right?
true.
It's true. So that's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
That's what keeps the sense of humor going.
Agree.
It's if Caleb were to make an accusation with a joke that
Right.
is so far gone.
Right.
So, for example, and this was maybe the good one. This is maybe the best one. God, I hate that we're going so long here, Walker, but this is worth it. Do you know that Sarah Palin never said, I can see Russia from my house?
That was a
never
Tina,
freaking said it.
that was
You
a
know
Tina
why?
Fey thing on SNL.
Correct.
Yes.
Tina Fey said it,
Who looked so much like her.
Yes.
It was
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous.
and they never let it go,
No.
right? They never, and it was, and the media took it and created a narrative out of it that was so bad that the joke was no longer funny. Dan Quayle
Potato.
spelled potato with an E
Yes.
at the end.
Right.
And you know what?
Guess
It's-
what? The
it's-
proper English spelling of freaking potato has an E at the
Yes.
end. The Americans typically spell it Potato. The English spell it Potaoe, right?
Americans say
brand with
caramel.
But was Dan? but
Ring the bell. That was good.
Was Dan Quayle a Brit?
No.
No,
Was he raised in a British school?
but it's still a proper.
Oh, he
English
went
spelling.
to.
I
he went
write
to one of those
theater.
hoity-toity,
I have
private
written
schools.
theater for years. RE.
Yeah.
RE.
Right, sure.
But you're illiterate, so it's funny.
Yeah.
No.
I'm kidding.
I'm not
No.
even going to ring the damn.
No, don't.
No. I have written it just because that
Yeah.
was my preferred spelling for it. It's
Right.
theater.
Right.
So, and I think therein lies the point. So, number one, you've got to lean into it. And I think if Sarah Palin had leaned into that and been like, I actually can, why don't y'all come to my house and see?
You know what? You can see Russia from Greenland.
Yes, you can. And we're going to talk about Greenland when we come back because we've been getting the 1 minute finger for about 6 minutes now. Fun episode of Implicit Bias Radio. Don't miss it. Come back for more. Our sense of humors are maybe getting the best of us in the Mr. Lester's Top Secret podcast lair this week. We're having tons of fun. This is what I love about the discussion that we have here. Let me introduce you to the crew really quickly. We've got one of 15 certified master tobacconists on the planet, Rene Girard. He is in the chair at the bar. We have Burley Shortpour Pellerin. We have the consigliere, Chris Castro. And what I love about this group is that we get to have heated discussions. We hug it out at the end and we're all still friends.
Absolutely.
That is the best part. We try to see the other points of view, and that is what true friendship should do. And it's why you got to have a sense of humor.
We're out of whiskey though.
Oh, stop
No.
whining. Renee.
Look at the damn bar, Renee.
I was about to say.
nothing to match this.
Here, yeah. Look, you need some of our
Okay.
our implicit bias pick.
So
There
just
you go.
just a
Oh, I've
remember
had that one. That is good.
what Renee is talking about. This because we are in hour 2. This is the Ambassador Wine and Spirits Blanton's Gold. It is a distiller's pick, only available at Ambassador Wine and Spirits, a member of the Implicit Bias Liquor Collective. And if you're listening on podcast, you already know. If you're listening on terrestrial radio,
Too late.
you might be too late because this went on sale at MSRP of $139.99 on January 23rd. They
At
just
noon.
opened it up at noon.
noon.
High noon.
High noon. So it's showdown at noon.
So if you're hearing it on Saturday morning,
Too late.
don't wait. Just
No,
run
go.
and
You
see.
might,
Go
You
quick.
might get some.
Here's what I will
You
say.
might get the last bottle.
Here's what I will say. This pick yielded 30 plus cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a lot
Yeah.
for a pick. So that's 30 times 6 and
Yeah.
yeah. So it's a good bit. It might even be more than that. I want to make sure I get that number
Yeah.
correct.
At
I went
least-
low.
180 something,
at least
180
30.
something
Yeah.
bottles.
It was 30 something cases,
Yes,
but
30
at
something
least
cases.
30 cases.
So Chris,
I just wanted to say in our listening area, in the terrestrial radio
Yep.
situation, what would happen if you're in New Orleans and you're not close to Lafayette?
well, if you're in New Orleans, so
Or
okay.
if you're
So if you're in New
Alexandria-
Orleans, if you're in
Alexandria,
Monroe, Alexandria, who
right.
can hear
What-
us.
What are they going to be able to do?
So I apologize, but look, here's the deal. Call your local store and tell them, reach out to those guys with implicit bias because sometimes they get access to picks. We'd love to have you guys as part of the Implicit Bias Liquor Collective
Right.
But also, the podcast drops at midnight.
on Friday,
Friday
the
morning.
23rd.
So you have a chance to listen to it.
follow.
And it's only 2 hours from New Orleans
That's
or
right.
from Monroe.
Make a trip to
So,
Lafayette.
Let's
come
3
get,
for Monroe.
Come get a po' boy at Chris's.
right?
Eat some pizza at Dino's. I'm gonna plug some of my friends and make a day of it. You
Yeah.
come pick up your whiskey.
Come
Yeah,
by,
come get it.
by Piper's Haven.
Come
go by
wash
Rustic
your
Renegade,
car at
Wash your car.
Zydeco
Go
or
wash
Cajun
your car.
car
Okay.
wash.
Go to NACO.
Come get a Gambino's king cake, which we have Gambino's king cakes in the kitchen. We got to bring those out.
Shop for rings.
Yeah.
Shop for rings and jewelry
Look,
and
okay.
baccarat crystal.
So hold on. It is William S. Nacall Jewelers, and Valentine's Day is not far away, fellas.
Yeah,
February
I'm just
14th.
saying. We
Couple
are
of weeks.
not that far away. Go see Grant Galatas. Go see Dylan. Go see Bill. Go see William. Go see Chantel. Go see Jennifer. Go see everybody over there.
Pick up some cigars at Renee's
yeah.
at Piper's Haven.
You can cover your Valentine's Day present and hers all in the same trip.
And you know what's right next door to William S. Nacall?
Gambino's. Yep, you can get your king cake too. Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay,
It's like Kavan planned all this.
if I was that good, Renee, and I planned this as opposed to God just putting this in front of me, trust me. Literally, God just kept giving me that lesson. He kept rubbing it all over my face until I learned it. That was just me eating king cake. Anyway,
There's no way God.
But he
planned
did
this.
plan it on those Wednesday mornings.
oh, he absolutely
way
did.
back when.
Yep. Well, Wednesdays and Fridays. Yeah, absolutely.
Way back when.
Yep.
That's how
Okay.
it started. 5 years.
So-
we're 5 years, right?
We're 5 years on the air. 5.5
Yep.
years now on the air.
Yep.
Okay, so we talk about you don't want to lose your sense of humor. and you've got to keep things going and you've got to keep things moving. And what jumps out at me is, I'm not going to say that you don't have people on the right that maneuver the truth, because you absolutely do. You absolutely have people that maneuver the truth. But what's really difficult are people who live complete fiction.
3 sides to every story, my brother.
So, well, you got to say that into the microphone.
3 sides to every story.
And what are those 3 sides?
Yours, mine, and the truth.
Okay, so this is, I'm going to tell you a real quick story, and this ties into something that happened this past week. Elizabeth Finch was the creator of Grey's Anatomy, this really popular medical drama in the mid-2000s?
Yeah, nighttime soap opera.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. And it was basically what, for those who don't know, go to a hospital, everybody's sleeping with everybody. And that's what the whole thing was about, right? Everybody's sleeping with everybody in the medical cases that they're dealing with. This is not to disparage on medical professionals out there, but stereotypes are stereotypes for a reason. You got to have a sense of humor. Anyway, Elizabeth Finch got awards and was held on a pedestal because Elizabeth Finch always said that she had a terminal disease, right? She had always told everybody, and I want to say she said she had cancer. It was something like literally she held herself up there and allowed people to hold herself up there until, Grey's Anatomy ran for how many years?
It's still running, isn't it?
It's
still on.
It's still,
Actually,
It's
I'm
the
sorry.
Grey's
longest
Anatomy-
running show on TV.
yeah, but Grey's
ever.
Anatomy was created by Shonda Rhimes.
Wait, Grey's Anatomy?
Anatomy. Yes.
Anatomy? No, okay. So Elizabeth Finch, maybe she was a writer. She was a writer. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
she was a
Shonda
writer.
She wasn't
Rhimes
a
is the
creator.
one that
She was a
created
She was a writer.
Yeah.
And got all these awards, right?
Yeah.
For Grey's
It's
Anatomy.
been 25 years or so.
Yeah, it's been on
going
for a long time.
Very long time.
And if you have cancer, you don't meet a lot of cancer patients.
That's a good survival rate.
That's a ridiculous survival rate. Maybe so good that you never had cancer in the first place.
She
No.
even went so far as to alter her appearance as it progressed. As the story progressed, the cancer or the sickness didn't progress.
Because it wasn't there.
She altered
She kept making up a new part of the story to make it look like the initial lie was true.
so
Maybe she
far
was
as-
doing research to write Grey's Anatomy.
insofar as creating a separate look.
A character.
Huh.
She would alter her appearance in public
she
to
lived-
facilitate.
She lived in the fantasy of her own mind. And look, what this ties into, think about how many stories we have gotten. Think about Bubba Wallace.
Oh,
Anybody remember that story?
the
Bubba
with
Wallace,
the
race car driver. There was a noose hanging in my
You mean-
in my pit
you
that
mean
was
the
actually
garage door?
it was the garage door pole,
Yeah.
right? Think about Jesse Smollett,
Oh,
right?
God.
Who
Juicy.
allegedly, Juicy Smollett, who got attacked by 2 MAGA hat wearing guys in downtown Chicago.
poured bleach on him.
We're gonna go a little bit long here, Walker again. Yeah, and did
I
all this
think
stuff,
this
right?
show's going to go long tonight.
This is just a fun show. But my point is, then you have Pam Grier, who goes on The View and says, I had to hide my eyes growing up in Ohio to not see people who were lynched hung from a tree. Pam Grier was born in 1949.
Yes.
The last documented lynching in the United States, Ohio, was 1911.
Yes.
Clearly, she meant when she went into a museum or
She saw she saw
a thing of
pictures.
natural history, right?
saw
That's what she
pictures.
meant.
Burley. Playing make-believe for a living, and this I think is the big thing. You can laugh at stuff and it's great, but to take the word of people who play make-believe and live in Fantasyland for a living is a huge mistake.
Yes.
No,
And it's why people like Pam Grier and this writer from Grey's Anatomy who made up cancer for whatever reason.
or Senator, what's her name?
Pocahontas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Who claims she was an American
when-
Indian and
when
has
you-
zero heritage for being an American Indian?
because they get so caught up in the idea
Well, they
of
want to
in
be.
the moment of where they are.
Here's what it
They,
is.
they don't think that people people will think.
I'm going to close this out, and it's this, because it just dawned on me. People like Elizabeth Warren, people like this woman from who was the writer for
Right.
Grey's Anatomy, That's for you, Renee.
Thank you.
Anonymous.
Yeah. People like Bubba Wallace, you know what they are fighting for? People like Jesse Schmoulet, Zeshi Schmoulet, Juicy Schmoulet. It's relevancy.
Yeah.
They are
Right.
so aware of their own irrelevance that they think
Thank
they
you.
need to make something up to put themselves in the limelight and make themselves more special than someone
They want their
else.
15 minutes.
Make yourself more special. Come back for the penultimate segment of this week's episode of Implicit Bias Radio. Implicit Bias Radio, the penultimate segment, rolls on as we have had, tons of fun. And the fun part is, I mean, I don't want to say we haven't opened a new bottle of whiskey. We've had a couple of pours out of a couple of bottles on the bar, but other than this bottle of Blanton's from Ambassador Wine and Spirits, yeah, we had a couple people take a taste of Deep Blue, the Implicit Bias Infinity bottle from William S. Nacall Jewelers. Outside of that, it's been relatively tight here on the show with regards to just us having fun and not needing
Yes.
whiskey to do it. Okay, so, we talked about in hour one, the lack of humor that people have and the lack of sense of humor that went away.
Except for here.
No, yeah, we everything's fair game here, right? So we talked about the line.
Renee, you ignorant slut.
We talked about the line that has been drawn a lot of times with what's funny and what's not,
Right.
right? To me, you want a good joke with this administration that we haven't heard? How Saturday Night Live has not gone neck deep on pardons, I don't know.
I mean,
Like
after,
that would actually be funny.
after
'cause
the
there's
last
some questions there.
administration,
Maybe that's the reason.
you get 8,000 pardons that, I mean, Joe Biden wasn't in office long enough to sign his name 8,000 times. So that's why they use the auto pin.
Maybe that's
That's
why they don't go
use-
after it, because there's so much. Because if they make fun of those
Right.
pardons,
So you have
they
to
have to look at all the
you have to
pardons.
think before somebody's creating the story. Somebody said, to your point, hey, let's talk about all these pardons. There's somebody in the back room saying, whoa, hold on,
No, don't bring that up.
hold on, wait, we can't do that because of this.
So literally, there are writers and there are comedians who've come out and said it. Comedians have come out and said, you sit in these creative meetings and talk about what would be funny.
Right.
And 8-9 people who are artists, they are funny human beings.
A lot of them are comedians that they
Yeah.
write jokes
Yeah.
and they perform.
Well, and a lot, I mean, like Dennis Miller started as a writer on Saturday Night Live. Tina
Yes.
Fey started as a writer on Saturday
Yes.
Night Live. Typically, your career path there is you start by writing and then you get in front of the camera.
Right.
And literally, some of these people, graduates of Saturday Night Live, have said you can't be funny anymore because you sit in these meetings and you say something and somebody goes, oh, no, that's going to offend me and that's going to offend this person. That's going to offend. And literally everything you do is going to offend someone at the table. So finally, what you agree upon offends no one. And everybody's like, it's funny. That's
It's
funny.
not.
That's
It's-
funny. And
it's
it's
not.
not.
Right. It's got to offend somebody, otherwise it wouldn't be funny.
Exactly.
Hold on. You got to.
It's got to offend someone, otherwise it wouldn't be funny. I mean,
Yes.
come on.
Correct.
This is what satire is.
Correct.
You know? What is comedy? Comedy is, that's a definition of comedy. It's the risibility, which is the laughter,
Yeah.
is the unexpected result, of something that is expected, obviously. But, you got to have the unexpected ending, I guess, to, what people
Yeah.
think is going to happen. But,
Well, and that's where we get into these conversations of, is there something you can make fun of with everyone? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, how many people today mimic and imitate and make a caricature of Donald Trump, and
Oh.
Trump supporters laugh at it?
Yes. He laughs at a lot
He
of
laughs at it,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
You do that. And look, it used to be Bill Clinton was fine with this. People would imitate Bill Clinton all the time.
Yeah.
And he never really had an issue with it. Phil Hartman did a great Bill Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Did a fantastic Bill Clinton.
I don't think Hillary enjoys.
Oh,
I think George Bush
That as
too.
much.
Also, going back to Bush and Saturday Night Live. If we're going to use Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live as our,
It's
as
kind
our
of a
barometer.
baseline. It's
Right,
kind of a
right.
baseline,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah, because they made fun of all the politicians.
Well, Dana Carvey, wouldn't
Oh,
be
God.
wouldn't be
Oh,
prudent.
George
Wouldn't be-
H.W.
Wouldn't be prudent
Yeah.
at this juncture.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the characterization of people is a thing,
Yes.
and that's funny. and everybody should have to be subject to it.
Brings me to the history of the world when
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks comes out in front of the king and he says, "Politics, politics, politics," and he starts to make a
Yeah.
joke about politics, and he realizes in front of the king, and
Yep.
he's like, "Oh no!"
This is
Oh
it is
God!
so
Can you
true.
imagine Mel Brooks still around? Just
Well,
to-
they're remaking
to the-
Spaceballs.
No, they're not remaking
Is it
it.
done?
Can they?
No,
can
it's
we
a
please
sequel.
remake
Another one.
It's a
Blazing
sequel.
Saddles?
It's a sequel to Spaceballs.
Yes.
Can
I wish they would do a sequel to Blazing
They
Saddles.
can't.
I bought Blazing Saddles on Blu-ray DVD, and I don't even have Blu-ray. Is it Blu-ray DVD or
Yeah.
God, you're
Blu-ray?
old.
Blu-ray is a.
It's the
format.
only thing I saw it on, and I'm like, this is gonna go
Okay,
away.
so-
So I bought it.
So
I have it.
speaking of going away and losing your sense of humor, who remembers the movie PCU?
Yes.
Politically Correct University.
Yes.
That's with
PCU. Jeremy Piven.
Jeremy Piven.
David Spade was in it.
Yeah.
This was in what, late 90s, early 2000 movie.
Yeah. About.
And if you go back and watch that movie, it is such an accurate prediction of college campus life 30 years later, because it was all hyperbole. And guess what? We've become this. Now, here's the really interesting part. And this is where I get conspiratorial. Go try and find that on any streaming service in the US today.
No, they won't carry it.
You can't. You
I-
can't find it.
You can't find Blazing Saddles.
You can find
the
Blazing
original.
Saddles. Yes,
no,
you can.
No.
Is
the
it
original.
is it edited though?
I have found the
It's-
unedited. I've watched it on TMC with my son. That's actually how Connor saw the unedited, all the words,
Unedited.
all the stuff.
Yeah, because
all of it in there.
The new edit is like the movie's 7 minutes long.
Correct. But PCU specifically, PCU went after every leftist
Club.
thought club that was out there, and even went after like the college Republicans. They went after all of them.
Yeah.
And guess what? Today, you cannot find this movie in the United States. And it's one of the reasons why I look at it and go, this is why Gen X is great. Because Gen X, I lived that movie essentially. We
Yeah,
walked
right.
on campus and we saw the stoners all looking at their frisbees, right? Playing disc golf in the middle of
Right.
campus and going, or ultimate frisbee. Oh, the swirly, right? We
Playing hacky sack.
we saw the vegetarians one week, who the next week we're talking about Nelson Mandela. And one of the great clips out of it is they're actually walking through and this guy says, "Free Nelson Mandela." He's like, "It's the cause of the week." The guy next to him goes, "They freed Nelson Mandela." Wait, they did? Okay. Protect the rainforest, right? I mean, it's like the cause of the week, this crazy
Right.
stuff. And Walker's giving me the 1 minute finger. We're going to take this to break. But
Don't eat red meat.
yeah, don't eat red meat. Whatever you do, though, if you can find the movie, watch it. If you can't,
You can buy it.
here's what I tell you to do. Stick with Implicit Bias. We'll give you all the deets. Find us for our final segment of this week's episode. It's been a fun episode. We got a great closing story for you right here after the break. This is the final segment of Implicit Bias Radio for this week.
It is.
Man, not only has this show flown by, it's been tons of fun. So hopefully
It has been a blast.
good. I'm glad
I've enjoyed
you,
it.
I'm glad you say that. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's because we gave you whiskey. Anyway,
The good
Twice.
I'm
The
your
good whiskey.
Yeah, the good whiskey. I'm your host, Kevon Bordelon. We've got Renee Girard, Louisiana's only certified master tobacconist, one of only 15 in the world. We've got Burley Short Pour Pellerin, one of the OG crew from Implicit Bias Radio.
and one of 100 car wash owners around town.
That's
nowadays.
just in Lafayette.
The best. Though.
Yeah, it is. It is. That is the voice of the consigliere. He is Chris Castro. He's also at the bar with Burley. We've also got the Bead King, who's up there because this is a crew with a K. And of course, we didn't get to tell you, but if you're listening, don't miss the whiskey special in the month of January at Mr. Lester Steakhouse. So Burley, are you ready for this? Because I know that not everybody is.
No, I
All
wait,
right.
fill me in because I don't know.
It's a flight at Lester's in the month of January.
3 or 4?
5.
A 5 flight.
Correct. A 5 flight. A 5 pour flight. There you go. Lots of fun with the weekly whiskey.
Yeah, well,
So this is the offering. $17.92. Single barrel,
come on.
sweet wheat, full proof, small batch, and cognac cask.
For how much?
$30.
No way.
$30 for a 5 pour flight. Yep.
Dude.
The 5 expressions
when
of
to when?
$17.92 in the month of January. That is the special. Go hit
So you
Louisiana's.
only got a couple of weeks left.
Yeah.
Hustle.
And
Hit-
that'll go with my birthday because my birthday's coming up. I'll get a thing from Lester, so
There
I'm
you
going to
go.
show up. That'll be
Yep,
perfect.
There you go. So make sure you go. Make your reservation. We're close to, by the way, Valentine's Day. We'll tell you about what
Oh, you
specials
better
are going to be in
you better
February.
reserve quick.
Yeah. Yep.
That fills up fast.
Okay. So real quick take, because this happened. We don't want to necessarily give an instant reaction. We don't want to go too deep into it, but the whole Greenland thing kind of blew up the day that we recorded this episode, because I'm going to try and give you the Greenland saga in like 30 seconds. For what? Right at 50 to 70 to 100 years, the United States has been trying to acquire Greenland. Trump is not unique in the first president
About
to try this.
70
No.
years.
Trump comes in and says, I want to buy Greenland. Denmark says, no, screw you. Trump says, fine, we'll take it. We'll take it militarily. We'll do whatever we need to do. And then all of a sudden they went, oh no, we want to negotiate. Then he said, well, we'll put tariffs in place. That'll be one of the ways we'll take it. We're going to do all this. And they said, and they announced today that there is a framework for a deal for the United States to be the protectorate and basically have Greenland.
Well, you missed one important part.
What did I miss?
Well, we were going to go take it, and Denmark says, no, we will protect it. And they sent 20 guys over.
Well, actually, all of Europe said we are sending and this is the headline. This is how the media
Yes.
lies to you. Europe sends conglomeration of troops to Denmark. They sent 34 people.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't
18 and,
you
and,
can't
and a
defend
few others.
you can't defend the Waffle House in Lafayette at 2 a.m. in the morning with 34 people.
No.
Much less. And by the way, like Germany sent 15 one day, the next day they sent all 15 home.
Yes. Well, because France sent their 14 in,
Yes.
yes. And then, they all took turns.
But they were wearing suits and short pants.
Okay, so real quick take.
In Greenland.
So
yes.
wait, they sent Walker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So-
sorry, high water pants.
Yeah.
High
okay.
water pants.
Okay, so thoughts. I mean, do we need it?
Yes.
Do you like to see us in empire building mode,
No.
which is
I don't think
maybe what this is?
I don't know,
I
It's-
hate the word strategery,
but it is.
Okay,
but that's where it
so
where
you're
it fits.
thinking
That's where- that's where-
geographical, strategic importance.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
hate
oh,
I
yeah.
hate when somebody says the word strategery, and
But
I
it's
hear
a-
it
such
all
a
the damn
good
time.
word.
What's interesting is
It's
you
just-
can't even say a word you hate.
It's not a word.
But
it's
just a
not, but
good
you hear
word.
it all the time. Think about it. You hear it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a strategic move. It would be a strategic move. I don't disagree with it.
I mean, we've had 60 bases in Greenland since before World War II.
We actually had it during World War II and were kind enough to give it back because the Danes asked us to take it and put
And-
it underneath our shield
and-
during World War II.
Yeah,
Correct.
because we had all kinds of landing strips and we've had listening stations. We still have a big listening
So
station.
is that where Playboy
I
got the
like
idea
landing
Yeah.
strips. Those are good.
But and now we have one base left. But we have the ability to put as many as we want. The treaty says we can do whatever we need to do
To
put in
defend it.
Greenland to
Okay.
defend it.
So, Chris, real quick, we'll get your perspective on this. Then we're going to go to the final story of this week's episode.
I agree that it shouldn't be, like I don't know. I don't think it's going to become part of the United States of America. I think it might be part of our security program and strategically.
Do you think
I-
it sets
I
a bad precedent, though? I mean, is that
I don't think that it's going to. I think that it's going to remain a territory of Denmark, and the United States will
It'll be a
work with-
protectorate.
be a protectorate. I mean, I think the United States is a protectorate of a lot of Europe.
well? I'm about to say
already.
if you
So-
look at NATO defense spending,
mean,
we
so-
protect everybody.
So, but I think that also endures to our benefit. So believe me,
I don't
we're not
disagree.
we're not putting money out there for the hell of it just to protect somebody else. We also recognize that those people
Well, there's
buy our
there's
stuff
also-
and need our things and want our things. And
there's also
so there's a give and take there. So
there's
um,
also a lot of minerals and everything
Yeah.
there that we can
I
harvest.
think there's two plays here. I think the first play, and Caleb's not here to talk about the second. I think the first play, I think there's a lot of minerals. I think
Yes.
there's natural resources
future.
in Greenland.
Oh, there
right?
is.
So it's a future play. That's
Yes.
number one. Number two is the military importance of the one base that is there and what's underneath it.
Yes.
That's a big story that people don't necessarily. We're wrapping up the show
I don't even
already.
know what's underneath it.
Oh
What's
my
underneath it?
goodness. So the legend
There's
is the legend is very quickly that there is a significant underground complex miles mined down underneath that, And what's down there is really important. I've talked to multiple people in the military,
It's
including
not
Caleb, who will tell you
It's
it's not a
truly-
theory.
Thule Greenland.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
deal.
It is.
So we got to wrap up the show. If you want to hear more, we're going to
No!
do some bonus content. Go to buzzsprout.com, find Implicit Bias Radio,
Pay you
subscribe to
$3.
the bonus content, and you will get all this extra conversation where we're going to talk about all kinds of other fun stuff. Because, man, 2 hours might not be enough for a show like Implicit Bias Radio. Cheers. We'll see you in 7.